Anyway, today I wanted to share on getting offended, right? So whether it's something big in your life, a situation that you went through, something that somebody did to you and it really, really hurt you, you're really, really offended by it, or something as simple as, driving down the road, like I'm doing now, and somebody cuts you off, or you're trying to get in a lane and that person doesn't let you in and you get offended, right? I mean, I think that's pretty natural human behavior. We get offended. And what I've really been I used to get really offended by those things. I tell you what, man, I used to chase people down in traffic, literally, and I was just quick to be angry, and for those of you who know me now, that's really not the case. I've got a lot longer fuse, and I'm a lot more patient. And so anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you and kind of how I got to that point. And really, especially what's been speaking to me lately is, when Jesus died on the cross, I mean, whether you believe in him or not, I mean, it's a piece of history. It's written down in history books, the actual events that happened, whether you believe the religious aspect of it or not. But when Jesus died on the cross, his last words before he died was, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they've done." And so, that really speaks to me a lot, because, somebody who, let's just take, for example, somebody who cuts you off in the road, like, they know not what they've done. Honestly, like, maybe they do, but at the core of it, you don't really know how that's going to affect somebody. You don't know that offendedness that it gave you, that anger that it caused you, you don't know how that's going to affect that person for the rest of their day, for the rest of their life. Like, what happens if you got super offended over that? You were super angry, you carried that anger through the rest of your day, and then all of a sudden you come home, you get in an argument with your wife, or you say something to your kids, and that leaves a mark for the rest of their lives. So, anyway, that's my message for today is, just let go of that stuff. And I mean, could you imagine, like, waking up in the morning and all of those people who you hold such anger and such resentment, and you're so offended by what they did, and you just didn't have that? Do you imagine how that would feel if you could just let go of that? And I understand that it sounds so simple, sounds so easy, and in a lot of cases it's really, really not. It's really, really hard to let go of that stuff. It's hard to forgive people sometimes for things they've done. If it's somebody cutting you off in traffic, that's one thing, but something a father or a brother or a sister or a really good friend said or did to you at one point in your life that really, really deeply hurt you, that's a whole nother thing, and that can be really hard to get over. But it really, if you think about it, at its core, they know not what they've done. They don't know how that's going to echo on throughout your life and the lives of the people that they did that to. They're really not thinking about it in that moment, the quick other thing to add on to that, I've heard this lady speak recently, and I don't remember her name. I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it even if I did, but in Uganda, there was, what was that, almost 10 years ago now, in Uganda there was a mass genocide. In 3 months, over 1 million people were killed in this mass genocide. And this one tribe was literally trying to wipe out the entire other tribe, every single one of them, off the face of the earth. And there was a group of about 7 people who a man ended up keeping in his bathroom in their house, and hid them through that 3-month period. And this one lady who I got to hear speak at doTERRA convention, She was one of the survivors who was in that room, and oh my gosh, this incredible story. But she went in that day, and that was the last time she saw her father, her brother, her mother, her friends, her schoolmates, everybody. And she was stuck in that bathroom for 3 months. Went in 165 pounds, came out like 90 pounds. And in that time, 7 people stuffed inside like I think it was like a 4-foot by 3-foot bathroom, if that. And 7 people stuffed in there, didn't hardly eat anything. They got the scraps from the man's family on one plate, and they shared that between the 7 of them. And in that time that she was in there, she came to forgive the people who killed her family and her tribe. And it was, she didn't have a relationship with God or anything before that, but in that time she ended up speaking with God and having relationship with him and having conversation with him, and he brought her to that part in scripture, forgive them for they know not what they've done. And she was able to forgive that person, and later she actually visited the man who killed her entire family, visited him in prison, the United Nations prison, and forgave him face to face. And he couldn't look at her. And the prison guard was extremely upset because they had also killed his family. And he cursed her and told her to leave, and was so angry, so angry. That's what, unforgiveness and bitterness and all that stuff does to you, man. It starts out just something small. You're a little angry with that person, maybe you're really angry, but it festers and it grows, and it's like weeds. It starts to overtake the garden of your soul, and literally chokes out any joy that you could possibly be having in your life. And so that man actually, that really touched him, and eventually he ended up coming to forgive. And he met her a year later and said how, that really freed him, and he was able to find another wife and lives a happy life now, and how just incredibly life-changing that was to him. So anyway, this was a really long video, much longer than I intended it to be, but I think it's such a huge thing. So many people are so upset with people, hold so many grudges, and man, that just it at the end of the day, like, you're so offended with them and what they did, but it's affecting you way more than it's affecting them. Let go. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Forgive them, for they know not what they've done.